So Clarko, what was the wash-up after Friday?
Oh, we played against a really good side. We showed some good signs at different stages in the game, and then Carlton had come off a 15-day break. I was sort of hopeful they might be a little bit rusty, but they were fresh and hard and strong, and their pressure was outstanding. And they're preliminary finalists from last year, so they're a very, very good side, very mature and experienced, and that's where we want to get to. So we took some positives out of the game that we're on the right track, but obviously, the 3 games that we've played to date, GWS are an outstanding side on their home patch, are really hard to beat, and we're right in the contest against Fremantle and just fell away for a period of the game. So we've been pleased that we've been testing ourselves against really, really good sides. We haven't got a victory yet. We're getting closer to it, but once again we come up against a really good side, grand finalists from last year. They're also 0-3, so they'll be smarting. They're nowhere near where they want to be. So we've got another big test, but we're looking forward to another opportunity, but also pleased with some of the progress that we're making without yet that materialising into a victory for us.
When you take on a team like Carlton who are so experienced, what are the areas that you notice most in terms of the differences there?
Yeah, well, mate, just strengthen the contest, and being able to not be intimidated by the pressure that's coming. That in every AFL game the pressure's coming. There's 18 on the opposition that's trying to stop you from doing what you want to do. When you're a younger side, then that pressure some of it becomes perceived pressure, and you start rushing your decisions. And whenever the game is rushed, then there's likely to be error. So more experienced sides and stronger sides are able to impose themselves in that area of the game a hell of a lot better than the younger sides, and so that's where we need to get to. We understand we need to expose our players to that as often as we possibly can, but the weight of numbers just at the moment has that as an advantage for the experienced side. But we'll get there just with perseverance and just more exposure to these big games.
The Lions are under a lot of pressure, obviously 0-3, but also everything that's been going on off field at the moment. Do you go into this game just that little bit more cautious, knowing that there's so much fire in the belly there?
Yeah, we know they're a proud group, so an experienced group, so you'd imagine they're going to respond to that. But I wouldn't reckon they're trying any harder this week than what they were trying last week to try and beat Collingwood. So there's goalposts at either end and grass in the middle, and a red bag of air that we're both chasing around, and all we can really do is control what we can do, and we ourselves know that we need to put things together for greater lengths of time in games to be competitive. That needs to be our focus, and whatever happens with Brisbane, all we do know is we respect them hugely as a side, and we're preparing for their very, very best, and because we probably know that that's not too far around the corner with them, given what they've been able to do over the last 4 or 5 years.
Disappointing to lose Callum Coleman-Jones for the season with that Achilles. Have you settled on a replacement yet? And could that replacement come in the form of Charlie Comben, although he's been playing?
Yeah. We'll select. We'll sit down after this and select our side. So that'll come out. I think that side's about later on tonight, aren't they? Or it might be tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of all the logistics of that. But we'll sit down this afternoon. We've got to fly later this afternoon to Adelaide in preparation for the game. But yeah, we got a number of players that are right in the mix there. Sellers has been playing really good footy. Comben, Huey Greenwood. So we just need to work out what our best mix is, and try and work out and predict what Brisbane might be doing with their ruck division as well. They've got obviously the big O, but Fort played last week. Not sure if he's going to play this week, so that'll come into our consideration when we meet in a couple of hours.
Would you potentially back Sherry to go it alone in the ruck, or does he need that assistance?
Well, that'll be all part of the discussion that we have in a couple of hours' time. He's soldiered a big responsibility for us thus far, and he just had the support of CJ for those first 3 games, but he had to shoulder a lot more of that responsibility. And it's not just about this game. We've got to think about the whole season with him, and it could be that he shoulders that really manfully for 6 or 8 weeks, but then by halfway through the season he's cooked. So we've got to try and make sure he's making really good progress for us in his work that he's done thus far, and we've just got to protect him a little bit from himself more than anything, because he wants to do the work, and we're quite prepared to do the work if we ask him to do it. But I think it's a long season, and we want to protect him as best we can.
Do you and Fags at all chat during this time? You obviously come up against each other before, but probably unique in the sense they're struggling a bit under the pump, and you guys might feel like you've got a real chance here.
Yeah, we usually have a rule of thumb that we don't chat the week before the game, and probably just let it ease for about a week after the game, and then we get back to normal again. So that's been the go. I've had a chat to Fags this week, and we know we're both sore losers, so we stay over each other's way the week after the game, and then resume the friendship as normal after that.
You've conceded more than 100 points 3 games in a row. I think that's quite rare throughout your coaching career. What do you put that down to exactly, and have you fixed that?
Yeah, well, we're playing bloody good sides. That doesn't make it any easier. So we've got to give credit to the opposition. They're playing some good footy, but we're trying to play an attacking brand of footy, and we just haven't quite got that balance right. Sometimes we've been too attacking, too overzealous in our movement of the ball forward, and that's left us exposed behind the ball. So it's all we're just in a huge learning phase as a footy club with the personnel that we've got and the way that we want to play. And it's just tweaks here or there. Last year we could be accused of going too slow with the footy. So we're trying to. I think every team in the competition is trying to fasten the ball up at different stages to try to take advantage of an unstable defence for the opposition at certain times. But we just haven't quite got that balance right, which has left us exposed behind the ball sometimes. So we'll try to correct that as best we can. And you're right. There's not too many games of footy where you're winning if they've kicked over 100 points. So we need to try and pull 3 or 4 goals back off the opposition, and we'll be trying again this week. But we're coming up against a good side with a really, really potent forward line, and that haven't been firing on all cylinders. That they'd like the Brisbane forwards, but we know their capability, so we'll prepare for their best rather than their worst.
What have you made of Cam Zerha's start to the season?
He's been pretty good for us. He and just little individual patches or individual passages of play have been really valuable for us. Spoke about Sherry before, and Powell and these guys, McKercher, Curtis, Zerha. Some of our guys have had really, really good patches of play or periods of the game, but then haven't been able to put the full 4 quarters, a little bit like the side. So, I've been pleased with what he's been able to do. Different stages we've been able to move him into the midfield to give us some spark in there, and he's helped us in that space too. So, we've been pleased with the start of his season, but we just need more of our players to be making a contribution. We're just leaving it to too few at the current time.
There have been questions over some of his decision making, perhaps sometimes has been a little bit selfish. Is that something that that you've noticed, or is he just had license to just go for it and play his game?
No. Some of it is, once again, it's just game awareness. A lot of these decisions, I was saying before about how fast you go with the footy. You want to go with real speed. It's highly likely you're more likely to be making errors when there's no one in the game that can do anything at top pace really, really well consistently. So it's just acknowledging the times when you just need to slow down. The times that Cam Zerha and Paul Curtis have made mistakes is when they've continued to try to go at breakneck speed, and it's just trying to have the awareness of the game when it is time to go quick and when it's time to slow down. Usually the times that he's made errors in that space is usually been when he's been trying to go too quick with the footy.
Wilder's founding president has come out against the league's illicit drug policy, comparing it to East Germany, saying it's letting athletes get away with having drugs in their system. Do you agree with his view?
I haven't even heard what the views are, but all I do know is that the medical fraternity and the AFL are trying to put in place a system that protects the welfare of the player first and foremost, and there's always going to be criticism to the way that you set up a policy like that. But, the intent of the league and of the Players Association and the medical group has always been first class. So all I would say is just let's back those people in. They know they've probably got to look at the policy and work out what they can do to make it better. It's an ongoing review, really, but I'm sure the medical fraternity, the Players Association and the AFL will make what tweaks are necessary to make it a really sound policy for us.
Are there any changes you would push for from what you've seen?
I reckon you're better off leaving it to the gurus, mate. I just coach the side and I'm not doing that too well at the minute. So I leave all those other stuff to the powers that be.
He's pushed for all the drug matters to have police involvement. Do you think that's too far?
Once again, mate, ask the AFL and the medicos, because listen, it's like a lot of these issues, they're very, very complex, very, very complicated, and sometimes you just like it to be a one case fits all, but everyone's got a very, very different set of circumstances, and it makes it very, very complex to try to put a policy in place that is going to suit everyone. So they'll work it out in due course, I'm sure.
George Wardlaw was sort of getting his hand looked at a few times. I think he went back out and played, but just any concerns, him or anyone else on the track today?
When was that today, training?
Yeah, just
I
a couple of times.
Didn't even see it, but unless they come and tell me something otherwise, I haven't heard anything yet, so it'll be okay.
Norwood this week, something a bit of a different challenge, different look. Can that help you out, I guess, especially when you're playing against the Lions?
Well, it's a foreign ground for both of us, really. Both travelling, both playing on an oval that both sides will be unfamiliar with. So, no, we're looking forward to it. Obviously, it's a little bit of a tighter ground, so it's probably likely to be more contested footy, which is going to make it tough because it's a real strength of the Brisbane side. So we're going to have to be really, really good in that space. We know that, we understand that. We're looking forward to the challenge of that. But just excited we get a chance to go across to Adelaide, take on a really good side, and once again get some more evidence of where we're at as a side. They're playing these really good sides at the start of the year. Just gives you a really good feel for where you got to get to, what do you got to strive to do. So it's just great exposure for the Dersmans and the McKerchers and still the Sheasels and the Wardlaws and these guys. Wardlaws probably likely play at different stages on Lachie Neale this week. Lachie's been playing for 10 years. George has played about 10 games, so that's just great exposure for him. Whether he wins or loses that contest, or just wins or loses individual contests within the game, just that exposure that he gets is just gold for him, because we're hoping that George can somehow be the next Lachie Neale in the competition. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.